The confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County over the last 24 hours is 31,018, with 59 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 224 additional cases were reported, with 3 new deaths. Now, these are the numbers we reported yesterday, as the county has not updated the latest count as of 4 p.m. today. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Bella Shaw. It's Thursday, January 20th. Positivity rates in LA County for students and staff at schools are starting to go back down. This comes after a sharp spike when LAUSD campuses reopened to in-person learning after winter break. For the week ending on January 15th, close to 595,000 tests were administered to students and staff, and 11% came back positive, down from 15% the week before. Although 65,000 students and staff tested positive last week, only 3 new outbreaks at 2 elementary schools and 1 high school were identified. More than 140 school-based vaccine clinics are scheduled this week, and almost 500 school-based vaccine clinics are scheduled in February. School vaccine clinics offer pediatric doses for those ages 5 to 11, as well as booster shots for eligible students ages 12 and up. Public health officials remind all students and parents that getting vaccinated remains the best way to stay safe and in school. Infants and toddlers could be one step closer to getting their COVID-19 vaccine. White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration could approve Pfizer and BioNTech's vaccine for children under 5 as early as next month. Fauci went on to say younger children will likely need 3 doses because 2 shots did not offer an adequate immune response in 2 to 4-year-olds in Pfizer's clinical trials. Back in December, Pfizer announced plans to submit data to the FDA of the 3-dose study if proven to be successful. The dosage given to children 6 months to 4 years old would be 3 micrograms of the vaccine, or 1/10 of the adult dosage, with a 3rd shot to come at least 2 months after the 2nd shot. Kids ages 5 to 11 are eligible for the Pfizer kid dosage, which is 10 micrograms per shot, just 1/3 of the adult dosage. Those are given 3 weeks apart. Officials say hospitalizations of children under 5 years old with COVID are rising, as they are the only age group not eligible for a vaccine. The CDC found that nearly 8 in every 100,000 children under 5 were hospitalized with COVID as of January 8th, more than double the rate compared to early December, before Omicron became the dominant strain in the U.S. As the president announced plans to roll out 400 million N95 masks for free to the public, the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services is teaming up to get masks out to educators and students as well. Nearly 21 million N95 masks have already been sent out to county offices of education across California over the past 10 days, and millions more kid-sized KN94 masks could be arriving as early as the end of this week. Cal OES partnered with the state's Department of Education for the distribution, and so far, 51 of the state's 58 counties have made the request for masks. This is in response to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as they advised wearing the most protective mask you can and that fits well on the face so that you will wear it consistently. Authorities say N95 respirators that fit properly can filter up to 95% of particles in the air for adults who wear them. State officials say this distribution of masks are meant to supplement, not replace, the distribution of PPEs to employees and students by local officials. According to Cal OES, 1 billion units of personal protective equipment have been sent to counties, schools, medical facilities, and local communities in California. In Los Angeles County, nearly 5.5 million masks have been distributed since the New Year holiday, the latest allotment within the entire state, the largest allotment, rather. Researchers share new insights on how long a 3rd dose of a Pfizer vaccine will last, and the findings are mixed. While protection against infection is likely short-term, lasting less than 6 months, protection against severe disease appears to last much longer. Researchers with the UK Health Security Agency say after the third dose, protection against a symptomatic infection is pretty good. And then 2 weeks later, the booster cuts the risk by about 70%, then 50% after 3 months, and 40% after 4 months. Immunologist Jennifer Gommerman at the University of Toronto says it's normal for the vaccine's efficacy to wane over time. She also says the Omicron variant is very different than the original version of SARS-CoV-2, which is what we've been immunized against, but the vaccine also triggers other parts of the immune system to help keep an infection from getting out of control. She says that explains why, while antibody levels may decline, you are likely to still maintain great protection against severe disease. The third dose protected against hospitalizations by more than 95% 2 weeks after the shot and around 80% even after 4 months. The researchers also have short-term data for the Moderna vaccine and expect results to echo Pfizer's numbers since they are both mRNA vaccines with similar behaviors with the Delta variant. Starbucks made a bold move this week and reversed its vaccine mandate. The coffee chain announced it is taking back its policy announced earlier this month and will no longer require employees to be vaccinated against COVID-19. The Seattle-based coffee giant said it's responding to the Supreme Court's recent ruling where they rejected the Biden administration's plan to require vaccines or regular COVID-19 testing at companies with more than 100 workers. Now, this is considered one of the most high-profile corporate actions in response to the Supreme Court ruling, with many other big box stores remaining quiet about their future plans regarding vaccine enforcement. The company did say that as of this week, 90% of its U.S. workforce did reveal their vaccination status, with the vast majority fully inoculated. Starbucks employs 228,000 people just in the U.S. alone. Federal authorities are warning the public about another scam surfacing. As businesses turn to QR codes for contactless payments during the pandemic, thieves are finding ways to tap into this popular platform, and the FBI says to be on the alert. In the last year, you may have noticed restaurants and other establishments creating these QR codes or quick response codes to look up menus or make payments. And scammers are now targeting the QR codes by redirecting victims to sites that steal logins and financial information. The FBI says they're beginning to receive reports about malicious QR codes being used, particularly in cryptocurrency transactions. The FBI says do not scan a randomly found QR code, as they can also load malware to steal financial information and then withdraw funds from the victims' accounts. Authorities say these are similar to email phishing, and people should exercise caution when entering information from a website accessed by a QR code. The FBI says for smartphone users, check the URL after scanning a QR code because the URL may look like a legitimate site, so be careful when entering any personal information. Also, avoid downloading an app from a QR code and instead use an official app store. And lastly, call the organization if it's sent a bill in an email offering payment through a QR code to verify its authenticity. Amid the pandemic, another crisis is happening, and it's hitting California pretty hard. For the first time in years, California is experiencing the most severe blood shortage, and officials say the only way to help is for the public to roll up their sleeves and donate. The state's Health and Human Services Secretary, Dr. Mark Ghali, says while the need for blood is constant, California, along with the rest of the country, is experiencing the most severe shortage seen in the last 10 years. Just last week, the American Red Cross declared its first ever national blood crisis in the U.S., saying they are in dire need of all blood types, especially types O positive and O negative, as well as platelet donations. The Red Cross supplies 40% of the nation's blood supply and has had to limit blood distribution to hospitals in recent weeks. The Red Cross says it saw a 10% decline in the number of people donating blood since the start of the pandemic. Now, January is National Blood Donor Month, and the nonprofit is teaming up with the NFL and offering a chance to win tickets to the Super Bowl, hoping it will entice more people to donate. To find the nearest location, go to redcrossblood.org. Thousands of California college students may qualify to have a portion of their college tuition paid for in exchange for volunteering. That's according to Governor Gavin Newsom, who announced the expansion of the Californians for All College Corps, a program offering up to 6,500 students who are enrolled this fall up to $10,000 if they commit to 450 hours of community service. This program will be available to students attending one of the 45 universities and colleges selected in the program. The $146 million initiative was designed to be used as a tool to address the issue of student debt in California, which is home to nearly 4 million of the country's 43 million student loan borrowers. Students who volunteer could help tackle critical issues like climate change, educational disparities, COVID-19 recovery, and other challenges facing the community. To learn more, go to californiavolunteers.ca.gov. Well, what would have been an annual event to take place this week has been postponed due to the surge in COVID cases. The Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority announced that its annual count will now take place during the last week of February. This annual count is essential to understanding how big or small the region's homelessness is currently. Now the 3-day count will be divided by these regions. The San Gabriel and San Fernando Valley counts will take place on February 22nd. The West LA, Southeast LA, and South Bay counts taking place on Wednesday, February 23rd, and the Antelope Valley, Metro, and South LA counts taking place on February 24th. LAHSA officials say they had already decided to make changes to this year's count due to COVID-19 even before the Omicron variant surge postponed the survey. The changes include moving deployment sites outdoors, moving volunteer training sessions online, encouraging volunteers to minimize cross-group interactions, requiring masks, and encouraging volunteers to be fully vaccinated before the event. The homeless count is designed to help shape homeless services and programs offered throughout the county. Now, last year the county received an exemption from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and was not required to conduct the count in 2021 due to the onset of the pandemic, as thousands would have gathered to volunteer. LAHSA is looking for interested volunteers. To learn more, go to theycountwillyou.org. Well, as we head into the weekend, be sure to tune into Weekends in Torrance. New episodes air at 2 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. On Friday, we'll take you inside the South Bay's newest fitness facility to open during the pandemic, called the South Bay Woman Gym and Day Spa. We'll tell you what COVID-19 safety measures and practices are in place as people work on improving their health. Then we'll visit this gorgeous boutique hotel offering a peaceful oasis without traveling far. Inside the Blue Stem Hotel, you'll find that every detail was created with intention and purpose, offering guests a one-of-a-kind experience. Then on Sunday, learn how the city of Torrance is reducing its carbon footprint 1 mile and 1 charger at a time. These stories and much more will air this weekend starting at 2 p.m. You can find us on Spectrum Cable Channel 3, Verizon Fios Channel 31, streaming on our website as well as on YouTube. Well, before we go at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community, pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. Well, the Torrance Art Museum is excited to share its inaugural exhibition called Quadrant, a project keeping TAM at the forefront of developing new art programs and innovative strategies for sharing them. To give you a little backstory on this project, TAM invited the public to submit curatorial proposals. The open call was put on social media in 2021, and ultimately 4 projects were selected for their diversity of themes, range of artists, curatorial intent, and their sharing of an essential TAM goal, which is to focus on emerging artists. The opening reception takes place on Saturday, January 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Torrance Art Museum's main gallery space. The museum is located at 3320 Civic Center Drive. For more information, go to torranceartmuseum.com. What a great way to showcase one of the city's great gems in the community. Now, if you have a great story, an upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us at COVID-19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday as Leslie Robbins brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.